Recently, plugin developer Denise contacted us and asked us to review their Perfect Plate XL Reverb plugin on the channel. Great! Another ENT 140 emulation plugin, I thought to myself. But no, I was wrong. This is so much more, and it has one particular feature I'm totally in love with. And here's a first for me, a Reverb plugin that both myself and James have actually found a little bit inspirational. Let's get plugged in.
Perfect Plate XL is a plate reverb plugin that offers barely any of the standard features found on most plate reverbs, but instead offers exciting sound manipulation features such as detuning, resonance, and the intriguingly named rotate, among others, to allow you to not only add reverb to your tracks, but also completely change the sound of them. Let's take a quick overview inside Logic Pro, and we're running this on Big Sur on the new Mac Mini M1. Firstly, the user interface. This is a really easy to navigate interface with everything clearly labelled and easy to control. At the top of the plugin, we see the filter cutoff slope settings ranging from 12 decibels per octave to 48 decibels per octave, a delay length, and a general tone for the reverb sound from dark to bright. Below this is an EQ curve which you can click and drag to fine-tune the sound of the reverb. Any node that you click on will have the settings displayed on the top bar, so you can manipulate the plugin one parameter at a time. As with most plugins, there are universally accepted key shortcuts for various functions which will come in handy, particularly on the EQ. Holding Shift will allow for fine-tuning a setting, and double-clicking will reset the parameter to its initial setting. Double-clicking on certain parameters will also allow you to type in a value. Finally, below this is where the interesting magic starts. Although this may look like a simple slider interface, there are actually a ton of features here. Firstly, the sliders on the bottom section of the plugin control various functions such as the input and output gain, stereo width, and wet and dry mix, but the most interesting part of this plugin, in my opinion, are the 5 options above this section. Here we see resonance, drive, rotate, detune, and ducker. Each of these function as level controls using the mouse, and clicking on them brings up their own interface. By manipulating the settings in resonance, we can completely change the sound to make the inputted instrument sound like a completely different instrument. You can select 3 different frequencies to tweak, and each offers its own resonance and gain controls. Let's have a listen with a drum loop. Next up is the drive section, which offers tape, warp, buzz, and bite drive options, as well as a makeup gain control and chain, which allows you to choose whether the drive happens before or after the affected sound. You can create some really unique drive effects by combining different elements of each distortion characteristic. Rotate offers an effect which can range from a subtle vibrato or tremolo right through to almost sounding like a rotary speaker cabinet, and can really add some movement into your sound. Let's take a listen on this electric piano sound. Detune takes inspiration from Denise's excellent Bad Tape plugin and offers wow, speed and shake controls. All these combined result in a truly unique reverb that can really transform sound and makes it much more than just another reverb plugin, but a valuable production tool. But how does it sound as a reverb? Mark?
I love a good plate reverb and have used many different EMT 140 plates over the years, as well as one I made myself ages ago out of an old filing cabinet. And this plugin doesn't particularly nail the plate sound that I'm so familiar with, but I think that's for the better. We don't need another EMT clone. What this does do is sounds damn good as a reverb, and it also offers a truly inspirational tool when composing. I can see many film and TV composers falling in love with this as a truly unique device, and there's one control that James left for me to cover that I really love, and that's the ducker. Reverbs can so often get in the way of particularly a vocal track, and you quite often have to automate them to leave your vocal track intelligible while still getting the reverb you want, the reverb tail, at the end of a particular section or phrase. And the ducker completely solves this. This is also a feature found in Denise's excellent Perfect Room reverb, and I love it. I also love the flip feature, which gives you an instant reverse reverb effect, and the fact that you can use the delay in the main reverb control window to not only give a subtle pre-delay before the reverb comes in, but you can also use it to really create some unique delay effects is great. Let's take a listen to a track that we've put together for this review, firstly with no reverb at all. And again with the reverb on. So we're using perfect plate only here, and in the first section of the tune we've used it on the electric piano and synth sounds as an effect using the reso, drive, rotate and detune sections as well as the reverb itself, and on the vocal we've made use of the delay and reverse controls, and on the orchestral section at the end we've just kept it plain Jane reverb but with some subtle drive and detune added in.
So, we love this plugin, and we would really like to see a reverb from Denise that combines the features of this with their excellent real room reverb algorithms. Many reverb plugins sound great when auditioned in solo, but not so good in a mix, and similarly, many sound great in a mix, but you might not choose them on a more exposed source. This plugin finds a happy middle ground. We didn't find the reso, drive and rotate options gimmicky at all, and the flip and ducker controls are fantastic. The ducker in particular we really love, and it seems that the developers at Denise have firstly designed a really great reverb, secondly given it some really unique controls that are inspired by what a metal plate actually does when you put audio through it that can be pushed to the extremes to get some really creative effects, and thirdly looked at all the common issues that often make a reverb a pain in the arse and mean you need to add plugins before and after and incorporated them. If you find the reverb getting too dense or in the way, it's incredibly easy to solve those issues in the plugin and not to have additional EQs or sidechain processing. The plugin worked flawlessly on the new Mac M1 and wasn't at all processor hungry. We ran many instances on individual channels when we needed a unique sound for that particular instrument, as well as a more conventional bus-based approach when it was performing reverb duties on many channels at once, and we found it to be very efficient in both scenarios.
So we'd highly recommend that you try this plugin for yourself, especially if you're into electronic music production or if you're in the TV, film or sound design and cinematic spaces. It's truly a creative tool that would be particularly relevant in those genres. I've had some commercial mix projects in over the past few months and I've been using Perfect Plate in those projects and it's been perfect.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and ding the ding dong. And if you didn't like it, click the thumbs down twice, then click the thumbs up once. But don't hit subscribe and let us know why you didn't like it in the comments. But remember, create, don't hate. Thanks very much for watching. We're looking at some of the PSP AudioWare plugins on the Mac M1 very soon. So stay tuned and you will see us in the next one.